Hi everyone, welcome to another Fit for Mum Feel Great in 28 educational video. Hi everyone, welcome along to another video. This video is a little bit delayed in our programme this month. I do apologise. It was due to be with you last week with all of the information on stress and nervous system and sleep and all of that kind of stuff, but better late than never. And let's talk about your nervous system, because I think we look a lot at fat loss, we look a lot at food, we look a lot at exercise in order to be healthy, but the truth is your nervous system plays a massive role, and if that isn't in a good place, we may struggle to respond to all the other things we're doing, all the hard work we're putting in. So let's break it down really simply for you. First of all, your nervous system has two main states that you need to understand. The first of those is called the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight state, which you'll all have heard of. It's really important. We need it because we need to know whether we're going to stand still or whether we're going to run in certain situations. And but this state is where your body is very busy, you're rushing, you're stressed, you're multitasking, you're dealing with work pressure, you're dealing with the demands from your family, it might be a little bit of a lack of sleep, it's everything in modern life, and it's the state your body is focused on survival and not recovery. So the body's thinking, right, I've got to do all these things in order to be able to survive this situation. The second is called your parasympathetic nervous system, and that's often referred to as your rest and digest phase, and this is where healing and recovery and digestion and hormone regulation and muscle repair will happen when your body is in that state and it feels safe and comfortable and good to get all of those things done for you. So our goal isn't to avoid stress, because stress is very much part of the modern day life, but we need to learn how to move back into that calmer parasympathetic state on a more regular basis. And the reason for that is if we're stuck in that sympathetic nervous system state for extended periods of time, that's when you hear about all the cortisol levels being elevated all the time. And don't forget, cortisol isn't bad. It's a really important hormone for us. It helps you wake up in the morning, it gives you energy, it helps you respond to challenges. But if it's chronically elevated for long periods of time, which is common in perimenopause, it's slightly higher anyway, but then because of our busy lifestyles and the stress that we are under as busy midlife women, it can therefore increase fat storage, particularly around the middle, as I've said before. Might have a consequence on sleep and cravings, and your recovery from exercise will feel a little bit harder, and you'll just generally feel a little bit sleepy. So this is the sort of thing when you feel like you're doing everything right, you're eating well, you're exercising regularly, but you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, you don't feel like you're getting any results, you feel tired all the time. It's because your body isn't feeling safe enough to let go. And so this is the bit that we need to identify. This is where something really powerful can come in, and you can do this, okay? And it's that slowing down will create the fast results for you, and it will make you feel better. So when your nervous system feels calmer, your body can recover better from your workouts, your body will regulate your appetite and your hormones more effectively, your sleep quality will be better, inflammation that you feel in your joints will be better, the fat loss and all of that kind of stuff will be far more efficient. So therefore what you need to realize is that slowing down isn't being lazy, it's actually being quite strategic in your health plan now that we're at this time in our life. So one of the simplest ways we can start working on that nervous system stuff is through conscious breathing, which we talked about last week, or I wrote about last week. And if you can control that breathing, especially breathing in through your nose and then extending that exhale. So last week I told you to breathe in for 4 through the nose, out for 6 through the mouth. That activates that parasympathetic nervous system that we want, and it reduces the stress signals that are going up to your brain. So something really simple. When you're in a stressful situation, or every day before you go to bed, a lot of people swear by meditating and journaling and all that kind of thing, I just want you to work on your breath for now. And I just want you to take a big, deep, gentle breath in through your nose for around a count of 4 or 4 seconds. And then you breathe out really slowly for a count of 6 or 6 seconds. And that longer exhale is really important because it's telling your body that it's safe, okay? And just a few rounds of this can start calming your nervous system almost immediately. Another huge part of the nervous system health is your sleep and your sleep quality. But please don't stress about your sleep, because I think the more you stress about it, the less likely you are to relax into a nice sleep. So use the deep breathing, relax about it. Doesn't matter what time you're going to bed at the moment, just forget about all of that kind of stuff. You can survive on slightly less sleep, but your body is really, really clever, and the type of sleep you have, that REM sleep and all of those deep sleep and all those stats you can get, your body will automatically adapt that when your sleep has been a little bit out. But we do want to make sure that we have some kind of routine with our sleep, because this is where your body regulates your cortisol, repairs your muscle, balances your hormones, your hunger hormones, resets stuff, and the brain and the nervous system gets a nice little reset overnight. And poor sleep will increase that sensitivity and sometimes lower your motivation. But I think that comes more from the stress of sleep and the way we think about it, rather than necessarily looking at all your stats and thinking about the poor sleep. So let's just try and think about recovery and think about the routine you have in the morning and the consistency of your sleep hours and your wake up time. That's what's more important, not stressing about it, but just trying to be a little bit more consistent and relax and recover at night. Yes, don't have screens just before you go to bed, but don't stress too much about the time you go to bed, because that might differ from day to day with kids' activities or work or so on. You don't need to have perfect sleep, but I just want you to protect it as part of your health strategy and have a little routine, because the body likes routine. When you wake up at the same time every day, even at weekends, and you get a little bit of light on your skin and you get a little bit of movement through your body, which doesn't always have to be a full workout, but you start to move around, and then you have your breakfast, because then you're signaling to your body that it's safe, that it's ready to go. Those 3 things are giving it those signals that we're okay. It's the morning, cortisol levels are up just enough, and we've got the light, and we're getting on our way. And it's really important for you to get into that kind of routine. So it's the morning routine and getting up at a regular time. And then what's really important for you all is that you are allowed to rest, okay? It's not something you have to earn, and you don't need to feel guilty for slowing down a little bit, doing the breaths. It's not a weakness, it's part of our program, and it's where the recovery and the progress will actually happen. And especially for us, at this point in our life, for the best long-term results, for longevity, for feeling great, it's the consistency, and it's balancing out. It's balancing out meals, and it's balancing out rest and effort, okay? So take away from today, I want you to do the breathing. I want you to have a consistent morning routine and a consistent morning wake up time. And I want you to notice when you're rushing around. Try not to rush at a million miles an hour to do all the tasks that you do. Notice the tension you're holding in yourself. I want you to pause. I want you to breathe. I want you to slow things down just for a moment, and then have that downshift in your nervous system. So you're telling your body it's okay, we're safe, we can control this, we're all right, okay? Because when your body feels safe, your body will start to thrive. And we're not choosing quick fixes, we're building a lifestyle that supports your energy and your strength and your well-being for the long term and where you're at. And you know your lifestyle, you know if it's really hectic. You can just take a couple of minutes just to think about slowing everything down and just literally pausing, and then you can get on with the next thing, and you will be far better and feel far better for that. So give yourself to slow down a little bit without any guilt, and let's notice how your body responds to that. Okay, that's it for me today. I hope that helps, and I'll speak to you again soon.